Welcome, everyone. We're excited that you're here for our session on preparing for computer science CSEd week next week. And we have Katherine Goyette here from the California Department of Education. She's going to get us ready for some easy activities to do with our students next week. So we're so glad you are here. And our agenda looks similar to the past few times that we've been able to meet together. We're going to do introductions and welcoming, and then Katherine Goyette will take over as our featured speaker for prepping for CSEd week next week. And then we'll do a brief reflection and closing. So again, just really, really thankful for all of you and for you being here with us. And I'll introduce our team of actually we're now we're from 4 different county offices of education. We have Tani from Sacramento County Office of Ed. She's the EdTech coordinator there. And Steph Sumarna couldn't be with us tonight, but she's definitely here in spirit from Santa Cruz County Office of Ed. And I'm Sarah Colbeck from Shasta County Office of Ed. And Anu from Santa Clara County Office of Ed. And I stumble over all the S's because if you can see our acronyms, we're technically all SCOEs, even though Sacramento is the SCOE, kind of like, the Ohio State. So we're all from county offices supporting districts across the state of California and beyond with EdTech, computer science, AI, all the things. So again, thanks for being here. And we will drop the link to a Padlet map. We love kind of hearing where everyone is from, even if you've done this before. If you wouldn't mind putting a pin in the map of where you're located. We've had some folks joining us from outside the state and the country, so it's pretty fun to see where everyone is from. Awesome. Thanks for putting that in there, Tawny. We're going to open up just a quick Zoom poll, and if you want to choose one or more of these CS concepts that you're already doing in your classroom, unplugged CS concepts, or if you see anything that you're not doing but you would like to give a try, we would like to have you answer the poll so we can kind of go over what everyone is working on. And am I opening the poll?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because you can share then the results.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Got it.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have the 5 different options for any of these unplugged CS concepts that you're already doing in your classroom or that you would like to be doing. We'll let that go for just another 30 seconds or so, and then we will share the results. It's exciting. We have quite a few things already happening. This is great. Okay, give it about 10 more seconds for our Zoom poll. All right, we'll take a look at our results. Can everybody see the results in Zoom? Sweet. All right. Okay, Kat, I know I haven't introduced you yet, but would you like to give us any thoughts on the results?
Sure, I'd love to. I love how a lot of these, first of all, I'm glad that you put a definition, a short definition for these terms, because sometimes those that are not computer science teachers don't realize that they're already doing some of these things. So awesome. The algorithmic thinking is definitely something that we do oftentimes in our classrooms already. Those step-by-step instructions. This happens a lot in mathematics, in formulas. As well, and certainly like a recipe or directions as well. So, and then debugging, how many times do we even debug not only in mathematics, but perhaps in ELA, debugging certain our writing, making sure that we can fix the grammar and things like that. So yeah, love this poll. This was a great warm up to kind of show that computer science and CS really is for everyone. It's for you and for your students.
Thank you so much. And thanks for everyone who participated in our Zoom poll. Oops, that's where I meant to go. Okay. And you heard briefly from Katherine. You've heard from her before. She's not a stranger to our EdTech Playgrounds. She's been a guest speaker for us before, and we're so thankful that she is here. And I have the distinct privilege of introducing her formally. Katherine Goyette is the computer science coordinator for California Department of Education, where she supports educators in implementing computer science, artificial intelligence, and STEAM. Katherine is an author, a learner, an educational leader who advocates for inclusive educational opportunities for all students within the communities they reside. Katherine was primary writer for California's inaugural computer science standards. She has been a keynote speaker, featured presenter, panelist for organizations across the globe on a variety of educational topics, and she's here with us tonight. So thank you so much for being here, and can't wait to hear more.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's always great to be here at the EdTech Playground. So glad to be here. Always enjoy the interaction that we have and appreciate all of you that are putting this on and facilitating it, as well as those who are present today to learn. So thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we'll start talking about computer science and CSEd Week. I also have the slides that I'll drop into the chat. So feel free to look at that. And please know, if you have not been in a session with me before, I'd love you to know that I do monitor the chat the entire time, and I am open and encouraging of questions or comments throughout. So no need to wait until the end. If there's anything that you wanted to point out that you've been doing that has been working well, or any questions you may have, please feel free to do so as we move forward. So what is CS Ed Week? So you'll see that Computer Science Education Week is an annual call to action. So this happens every year to inspire K-12 students to learn computer science, advocate for equity, and celebrate the contributions of students, teachers, and partners to the field. And you may notice that it is actually occurring next week. So December 8th through 14th is CSEd week. Now you can, of course, focus on computer science education anytime throughout the year. But next week is definitely a great time to introduce some of these for your students. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward. You may be wondering why computer science. There's a lot happening in our schools. There's a lot that we are all asked to teach, but why is computer science important? So, according to our computer science standards implementation plan in California, here's what answers that question of why computer science. Students need to understand how their digital world works in the same way they study science to learn how the natural world works, or study history to understand cultures and politics. The integration of computer technology into every aspect of daily life necessitates a foundation in CS for a well-rounded general education. And I could ask, how did you use technology today? But I would imagine, I mean, we're all using technology right this moment. So we do know that technology is all around us. And the more that our students have an understanding about that, the better. And we're not saying that all of our students necessarily need to grow up to be programmers, but we do want them all to have computer science because we want to make sure that they know how to vote when certain things come into play. That they understand how to be ethical consumers, how they understand if they're going to be business owners, should they use AI for hiring decisions, should they not, what questions should they ask? And so it's really important that our students have that foundation regardless of what field and industry they go into. Something that you may also not know, but I think is very important, is that in California, in the standards introduction, it indicates that the California computer science standards are designed to be accessible to each and every student in California. Those standards are K-12, and so every student is supposed to be given access to our California computer science standards. Do they all have access? Well, we do know that according to the 2024 State of CS report, which the 2025 report will be coming out very soon, but it's not public yet. So I was not given the okay to release that data. But 52% of high schools in California, according to this data, offer a foundational computer science course. Now, what we also find is that there is underrepresentation in who is taking computer science. We know that from data about the advanced placement, computer science advanced placement exams, that young women, Black students, and Hispanic Latinx students are underrepresented. We lack enough data on other populations to know if there might actually be more that are underrepresented as well. But what I'd love to hear from you as we're thinking about access and we're thinking about computer science is, who comes to your mind when you hear the term computer scientist? So I'd love to see in the chat, are there any particular individuals that come to mind when you hear computer scientist? I'll say for myself, I grew up, I was in high school in the 90s. And so my first thought had always been Steve Jobs and Bill Gates when I heard the term programmer or computer scientist. So the stereotype of male. Oh, I love that Leandra, hopefully I'm saying your name correctly, says me. That is excellent. We definitely um, all should be and can be identifying as computer scientists for sure. One of the students in your coding class. Awesome, Amy. I love that. Bill Gates against someone smart. Yes. Katherine Johnson. Love that from NASA. My CS mentors, my husband and son. Love that. Software engineers. Absolutely. Absolutely. So as far as the comment of someone smart, um, there is often this genius myth in regards to programming. And that's something that I believed when I was younger, when I was in high school. I thought, well, you have to be someone like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs that just naturally is so smart. They're, in this, in, going to these amazing college institutions and they just drop out and become millionaires, right? And so in my mind, I thought it was something that was a gift and that you were given. And I didn't understand that computer science really is for everyone. And there's so many different pathways to it. So understanding that diversity is really important for our students as well. So, something that is a great way to show our students that computer scientists are more than just those stereotypes that they may see is to go to csedweek.org and look up the CS heroes. So again, if you go to csedweek.org, what you'll notice is, let me make this bigger here. On the top left, there's something that says CS Heroes, and you can scroll down a bit, and what you'll see is that you can actually filter. Maybe you have students that are really interested in particular industries. So maybe you have students that are very interested in the arts, AV tech and communications. You can filter that out. Maybe you have students that say, um, I'm mostly just seeing computer scientists that don't look like me. And maybe you have some Hispanic Latinx students, you might want to filter that out. So you'll see that there are these different filters that you can utilize so that students can see some computer science heroes, CS heroes, so to speak, that they can identify with. So I'm going to drop that CS Ed Week. Oh, thank you, Tawny, for dropping that link into the chat. What I'd love to do is allow you all just about 3 minutes to go to csedweek.org and look through this, click on this CS Heroes link here at the top left and find a CS hero or two that you think might resonate with your students. So just spend 2 or 3 minutes looking through and seeing if you can find a CS hero that may resonate with you or with your students. And as you're looking through, if you find any that are of particular interest to you that you think might resonate with your students, you can go ahead and drop that info into the chat if you'd like. Love seeing some specific computer science heroes being called out here. Fantastic. And we've seen a lot of teachers will often take this as to show students that there are computer science heroes that are, you know, beyond those stereotypes. And then also um, at that point, what, you know, to show students that they themselves are computer scientists, there's often teachers that will have students make their own CS Hero poster so that they see themselves as a computer scientist. They can show what their passions are. Why are they interested in computer science? What might they be interested in doing for the world, so to speak? Yes, and there are students that are called CS heroes as well, too. Yes, absolutely, and in so many different industries as well. So yeah, the hybrid artists, director of tech at Meow Wolf, absolutely. Um, there are those that are in business. There are those in education, accessibility features, a lot of social. Um, those that are interested in really trying to impact social change. So lots of great things in here. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. And feel free to check out that this website. Lots of great resources on here as well. Okay, perfect. So you may be thinking, well, this is great, but I'm not a coder. I don't know if I really am a computer scientist. It's great that you say all these things, Catherine, but I'm just not sure. And I just want to assure you that according to our California Computer Science Strategic Implementation Plan, Principle 1 says every student and every teacher is capable of learning computer science. So we truly believe in California that computer science is accessible not merely for all of our students, but also for all of our teachers. And I wanted to point out there is a educator workforce investment grant that has been going on for a couple of years here. And there was a Summer of CS 2024 event that occurred. And so there were 736 educators that participated in these CS workshops, all about computer science in the summer of 2024. Here's the exciting part. More than half of those educators had no prior experience teaching computer science at all. Not only were they welcomed, but they are now there's new survey results that's showing that they are actually teaching computer science in their classrooms now. But in these initial findings, the other thing that was exciting is 98% of respondents agreed the workshop made them feel included in a community of computer science educators and advocates. So not only were more than half of these individuals at these workshops had no prior experience with computer science, but they now felt, yes, they could identify as computer scientists in this community. So, what is computer science anyway? How would you describe computer science? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in just what that term might even mean to you. And if you're not quite sure, just let us know what you think it might mean. That's okay as well. So in the chat, let us know, how might you describe the term computer science? What are your ideas? Feel free to just drop in a word or two if that's what's coming to your mind. Computer science, what might that mean? Oh, I love that, David. Using computers to solve problems. Carla, technology in the classroom. Absolutely. Data analysis. Oh, love that. That's something we don't often, don't always hear, but that's definitely a part of computer science. Creating. Love that. Using technology responsibly. Certainly, Diane. Oh, I like this one, Tawny. The study of technology, how it works, how it affects us, and how it can improve our lives, the ways we can analyze problems. Absolutely. Learning how and why to use computers. Absolutely. I'm seeing a lot of technology use, creating with technology, a little bit of that social impacts, a little bit of the data analysis piece, algorithms, certainly. So that coding piece, absolutely. Wonderful. So oftentimes one of the first things that people think of when they hear computer science is they think of using technology or creating with technology, oftentimes with code. And that certainly is part of computer science, but there's actually a lot more involved in computer science. And so I wanted to share the computer science concepts with you that are what the standards are made up of, just so that you can see computer science in its entirety. Because a lot of times, what people think of when they think, oh, well, if I'm going to do computer science, I'm going to get kids on some coding games. That's great, but there's so much more than that, right? So I created this graphic because when I was on the working with the Computer Science Standards Advisory Committee, one of the individuals said, if computer science were a body, impacts of computing would be the heart. And so it inspired me to create this graphic to kind of help people to understand the breadth of a computer science. So the first one here on the left, computing systems, is really all about how the systems work together, the inputs, the outputs, the fact that when I push a button on the keyboard, something happens inside and then there's an actual action that occurs, right? The next one is data and analysis. So we did hear that. I'm glad that someone brought that up. Collecting, storing, categorizing info, fueling inference. So there's a lot of data and analysis in computer science. Networks in the internet. So that's what provides us with voice that helps us connect with others technologically. We, of course, have the impacts of computing. So that's going to promote our empathy, fosters inclusion, really about the social impacts. And then algorithms and programming. So that's really breaking down those complex tasks, that decomposition, which we saw in the warm welcome, those step-by-step instructions and representations. So that's where that coding is. But you can see that computer science is often more than sometimes people first think of when they think of CS. So what does that look like in today's world? So I was thinking about this, and so I created some graphics based on images that mean something in my world and helped me to understand why is this important for our students. So the first one is computing systems. So this is a picture of my smartwatch. And so this watch really exemplifies how computing systems work because it's taking input from like with my heart rate, right? My and it's taking that in and it's giving me an output and it's all working together. If I'm not wearing the watch, it's not able to get that data, right? So all of that is working together. I could also argue that networks in the internet is involved in that watch as well because it's connecting to the internet in order to get the weather report, so to speak. You saw that it says it was 60 degrees when I took this picture. It was definitely not now because where I am now, it's let's see, what is it now? 47 degrees. So it was definitely not today. So definitely something that we, is in our students' world. Also, when I'm driving my car, and I do have I do have a Tesla that I bought a few years ago. Um, but anyway, and so as I'm driving that, all the data that's coming in when I am having it utilize the cruise control or the self-driving feature, there's a lot of data that it's taking in to make those decisions. So that data and analysis is key. And if that wasn't happening, then that would be a real problem, right? Me understanding that all of the data that it's taking in is really important. But then there's also the impacts of computing portion. Do we really want our cars driving themselves? Is that better than um, a problematic driver? Or is that a problem in and of itself? We could have debates about this for days, right? So especially with AI, there are so many conversations and so many things for our students to think about when it comes to impacts of computing. Is AI impacting jobs? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? All these things that we can think about. You'll see in the next picture my daughter, who is, I believe, engaging in algorithms and programming because she was creating a pizza with Play-Doh. And so if you're creating a pizza with Play-Doh, you have to create the crust first before you put the toppings on, right? So there are step-by-step instructions on what you must do in a particular order. And then finally, this is an older image on the right. You can tell it's before we had like iPhones and such. This was like the very first like mini iPads they ever made is what he's holding there. But when there's no Wi-Fi and you have that face palm moment, right? Then you know how important it is that networks in the internet is something that you understand. So again, just to illustrate that all of these concept areas in computer science are in the midst of all of our daily lives and of our students' lives as well. And this is even more important in an AI age. So again, we talked a little bit about the job market. Um, Are there concerns? Are there legitimate concerns? Are there things we need to think about there? There are reports of AI determining who gets mortgages in some instances utilizing AI. And is that a problem? Are there potential biases in there, right? There are all these things that we need to think about. There's facial recognition, which has biases as well. Most importantly, computer science as a foundation is so important because students need to know that technology is not magic and technology is not their friend, right? We've heard a lot of concerns about companion bots and things like that. And so this is more and more important now than it ever was before. The other thing is, if we don't teach about computer science and we don't teach kids about how students or how AI works and the fact that it's not infallible, then this may happen. I don't know if someone could. I'm looking at Sarah. If you could let me know if this. I forgot to put sound. Hopefully that gave everyone a bit of a laugh, gave you a little bit of perspective as to why computer science is important in our AI age. So what I wanted to make sure that you all have some activities that you can explore, that you can bring to your students. And so there's a lot of great activities through the CS for All movement and code.org at a website called hourofai.org. And so what you'll notice is because and so the actual theme of CSEd Week this year is CS is the foundation for innovation in AI. So it really does. We are focusing on AI, but with computer science as that foundation. So what I'm going to do is I will give you some time to kind of look through this website, the Hour of AI website, and allow you to kind of look through and find an activity or two that might work for your class. But I wanted to highlight a couple per grade span that I found that do not require some of these have, teacher lesson plans that take a long time to read through and determine, or they might require logins and you have to set up your whole class and things like that. So if you are here and you're saying, I just want something that I can do quickly and not have to worry about that, I vetted some for you that I wanted to show you. So for lower elementary, there's a couple of activities that I think are great. And by the way, these images are links as well. So you can check these out. One is called AI for Oceans. Now for lower elementary, I would do this as a whole class if you have non-readers, but it's definitely something that could be done. So in AI for Oceans, it's pretty fun because students tell the machine, so to speak, if something is a fish or if it's trash. And what they learn is that the more data they have, the more accurate the machine will be. And it makes mistakes sometimes. And so now we can have those conversations. So that's a fun one. And it also helps with classification, which is something that often in lower elementary we're talking about a lot as well. And then another fun one for the lower elementary age is mix and move with AI. So this is one where students get to code dancing and music and things like that. So that's a fun one that's aligned to arts as well. So those are a couple of great lower elementary activities that don't require logins. You go straight there. So you could just like send the kids the link in Google Classroom if you're using Google Classroom or something like that. So upper elementary and middle school, this AI Quest by Google is relatively new. It came out maybe a month or two ago at most. And it's pretty cool because it really shows it's a gamified platform. And as kids are going through this game, they're learning how AI works to actually solve problems in the world. It's a pretty cool game. So I definitely would encourage that. I was at a county office a couple of months ago when this first came out, and I showed a few different resources, and this is the one that the teachers were most excited about. So just wanted to give that shout out that according to other teachers, they really like this one. Another one that's fun if just because we have kids love to put filters on their faces, right? And it's on their Snapchat and Instagram and such. So there's another one called Exploring AI with Scratch Face Sensing Blocks. So that's another one that's fun as well. And then they can do a little bit of coding that way. So the AI Quests doesn't really have coding per se, but it's really talking more about those impacts of computing and seeing how AI works. And then the coding is more involved in this scratch face sensing one. For high school, now, if you're a high school teacher and you're not in a computer science course, or even if you are and you want to do some things that don't require any coding, Adobe, you can go into Adobe Express on the left here and create a dream product with generative AI. So kids start to learn how that generative AI works, to visualize what that all looks like. Another one, we have, especially at the high school level, when we have students that are utilizing AI quite a bit, we really want them to understand that there's a lot of misinformation out there that AI has created. And so this Two Truths and AI by Common Sense Media is a great one for teaching kids to have an eye on what might be AI generated versus what might not be AI generated, and how can I tell those things? So Two Truths and AI is a great one for that. And then if you do want some text-based coding, the Fruit Fighter by Tinker is a great one for high school. And then Drone Command, this one does require you to set up your class. But Fruit Fighter is using JavaScript and P5.js. And then Drone Command, I believe, might have been using Python. I'd have to look and double check. Oh, it's in Make Code Arcade. So I think there's different options on which text-based code you can use. So what I'd love to do is give you about 5 minutes or so to look through and play around with the resources here. You can click on the images of any that were interesting to you, or you could go to hourofai.org if you'd like. And if you choose to do that, click Hour of AI and go to Activities, and they're filterable as well. So you can click over here on what age range, what different topics. Maybe you have some interdisciplinary needs. You can look through those. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes or so to explore some of these resources, because what I would love for you to be able to do is leave here saying, I know what I'm going to do with my class on CSEd week. All right. As you're exploring, if you'd like, feel free to drop in any comments or questions in the chat as well. All right. So looks like there was a Pac-Man World AI, very cool. Lego, Adobe, Minecraft, Google Code. Yeah, there's a lot of different Common Sense Media, all sorts of different platforms as well. There are also for the younger grades, there were some seesaw activities, but I know not everyone utilizes seesaw, so I didn't feature that. But if you do, that might be a good one for you. So if you happen to have Minecraft, again, not everyone does, so I didn't feature that, but there are lots of other platforms there that can be used as well. Excellent. All right. So if you want to go further in the future, I did want to point out that there are many times there are educators that say, I have so much, I'd love to teach computer science, Catherine, but the problem is I have so many other things that I have to teach as well. And so I wanted to do is show you this resource. It's CS Cross Content Connections, where you can actually go on the bottom left here, go to your grade level, choose a content area. I'll actually go ahead and show you what this looks like. So you can actually, so let's say you're a fourth grade teacher, you're going to be teaching math, and you're looking at some geometry standards. There will actually be an unplugged and a plugged lesson to show you how you can integrate computer science into what you're already teaching in that. So that's what this is, this would take a little bit more time, but it's something that if you really are excited to move forward with integrating computer science into what you're already teaching, I definitely would encourage you to check this website out. You can also talk to a bot and ask it, tell it what you're teaching and ask what ideas it might have for integrating computer science. All right. So what's new in computer science? Did want to let you know that our state standards are based on national standards, and there's a revision that's begun, and it will be completed in summer of 2026. And so there's going to be some more specific AI connections in these new standards. So that's going to be exciting. There's also a Reimagining CS report release that shows what computer science in the future might look like. So if you're interested in those links are there. And then if you're interested in getting information as far as professional learning opportunities and an activity of the week, standard of the week and accompanying lessons, etc., I would encourage you to sign up for the This Week in CSEd newsletter. So wanted to put that info on there for you as well. And I want to thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being here and committing to saying, you know what, I think I can try incorporating some computer science for myself and for my students. Thanks so much.
Awesome, Kat. Thank you so much for all your expertise. I just really love that you started tonight out not like describing what computer science is, but who can do it, what it looks like, how it affects our lives, how it's already incorporated in a lot of our daily lives and a lot of our classroom routines already. So it's so much more personal than I think a lot of us realize. And you highlighted that beautifully. And I just hope everyone who's here tonight feels encouraged that there are so many resources out there for you to just dive into with zero experience. I think some of the best ways to dive into something intimidating is to learn right alongside your students. And Kat has provided so many resources for you to do that. And also that you just see your CS hero side already. You're already engaging in a lot of these things with your students. So thank you again so much, Kat. And I'm going to pass it over to Anu to help us wrap up tonight.
Thank you, Tony. And if you will, please share your screen. Okay. Okay, well, the session is coming to a close, and we would really want to hear some thoughts on how it went today. We like to close with some positive thoughts. So I'll give you a couple minutes to let us know how this session went for you. And what is one thing that you would try, or there's something that you learned today? Kat shared so many amazing resources. Would love to explore. So let us know how it went in the Padlet. The link is right there. So I'll give you like maybe 2 more minutes. We are very well on time. So it's 4:54. So give you a couple minutes to write, and we would love to hear from you. Yeah, it's always great to have Kat. She always brings in such new, brings us, updates us with the latest of what's happening in the field of CS and AI. And it's great to hear from her. Thank you so much, Kat, for bringing it to us. Okay, well, we're going to move on. Seems like Tani's ready to go. Okay, so guess what? We're going to start the new year with a bang. We have Eric Kurtz returning to us, and our topic is AI for the new year. So I am really excited about this next session. It is on January 27th, and I'm sure all of you know about him. We are very excited to have him, come back and return and be part of our Tin Innovation Network playground sessions. And he's an authorized Google education trainer and innovator and has delivered training nationwide on topics ranging from AI and Google tools. So we are very grateful to have him return and share his insight once again. So look forward to that. You have already registered, so you will be there, and there'll be a reminder email a week before and a day before. I hope that has been helpful for you to remember to attend, and we look forward to your presence on our New Year's January 27th AI for the New Year. So I am looking forward to that. I'm sure it will be an amazing session. Okay, lastly, we are on Facebook and we have a small but mighty community growing over there. So we would love that you follow us and post any ahas or amazing learnings that you have, attended or would like to share with us. So do follow us on Facebook. We would also be recording. We have recorded this session and we have our website Google site where we post the recordings and to keep you updated and if you missed it. So it's out there too. And thank you so much. We are done. It's like 3 minutes earlier, and that's the gift of time since it gets dark so soon. So love to head home. And thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. We love this little community that comes and joins us while we share these amazing resources and invite such amazing experts and speakers to share the latest and keep us abreast with what's happening in the EdTech world. So thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.